Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles, and welcome to my June wrap-up. So starting off with our monthly stats, I read 7 books, had no rereads, 1 DNF. I read 806 pages and listened to 47 hours of audio. 2 of the books that I read were fantasy, 1 was a mystery, and 4 were romance. 2 I listened to on audio, 3 of them were ebooks, and then there was 1 book that I read with the audio and ebook. And all 7 of the books that I read were adult. My ratings consisted of 1 3.5 star, 1 3.75 star, 2 4 stars, 1 4.5 star, 1 4.75 star, and finally a 5 star. 6 of the books that I read were novels and 1 was a novella. 5 of the authors I read for the first time this year. 2 of them are repeats and the other 3 were completely new to me. So let's see, let's start with, okay. So the first book that I finished, I had an arc of Sinful King by Asia Monique. Y'all know that I love the Mafia Misfit series. This is book 7 and we're following an O'Sullivan brother. If you are familiar with the series, you know what that means. We're following this faction of the delegation that is the Irish mob. I rated this one 3.75, which is the lowest that I've rated anything in the series, but with an 8-book series, I'm bound to dislike something, right? So that was a 3.75. I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the world, but in this one, the couple is intentionally keeping things from each other and they are aware that they're keeping things from each other, and I don't like that. So book 8 is supposed to be coming out in December, allegedly. I hope so, but I still love the series. Once I finish it, I do want to move on to her backlist though, so we'll see. Then I read Where We Found Our Heart by Natasha Bishop. This is book 2 in the Lost and Found series, and this one is following Nina and Isaiah. Isaiah is Lincoln's little brother from book 1, and Nina and Sierra from book 1 are best friends. Supposed to be a one-night stand, but accidental pregnancy. Also, single mom, Nina is guardian for her 2 younger siblings because their parents died in a car crash, so death of a parent is very prevalent. I enjoyed this one. This one was very, very close to being a 5 star, but the male main character does something that pisses me the fuck off because it just led to unnecessary conflict. And literally all of it could have been avoided if he had just not done something that he knew he probably shouldn't have done anyway. Still really enjoyed it. I am currently reading book 3 and then I'll be caught up on that series. The next one is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. So the group chat decided we wanted to do a group buddy read for all 7 of us. I think we all started the book, not everybody finished the book. I thought that I was going to DNF and I actually finished it and rated it 4.5 stars. We're following, what's her name, Esta. She is living in New York in a specific time period. I don't know what her original time period is, but she has to go back in time in order to retrieve something. This world was actually really cool. I enjoyed the different magical elements, and we're living in a time where magic users are kind of hiding their magic, so they're sort of like an underground community because there's this thing called the Order that basically wants to eliminate magicians. So while I enjoyed this book, there are 3 more in the series and they're all over 700 pages. And I just don't think that I care enough. Like, I just don't see myself continuing for any reason. I feel like there probably doesn't need to be that many books, probably don't need to be that many pages. That's just my personal opinion. And it's probably worth it because the first book was really, really good. I just will not be continuing. Then I had an audio arc of If Two Are Dead by Rick Mafina. I downloaded this randomly because I was testing out the NetGalley app because the audiobooks are through there. And this one is about this married couple that moves back to Texas from, I believe, LA. The husband is a cop and he had a little trouble with the situation where he shot and killed someone, and he's kind of running away from that. Meanwhile, they're returning to his wife's hometown, and when she was a teenager, she got kidnapped with 2 other girls and she was the only one who survived. And so they're still actively trying to figure out who it was that took her, and because she's the only one that survived, she's getting blamed for a lot of it. A lot of people think that she killed these other 2 girls. She woke up in the hospital afterwards and didn't remember anything. So now that she's back, she's like actively trying to remember things, and it's like 15 years later. It was interesting. I rated it 3.5 stars. It was a little weird because I think, and because I had the arc, I think maybe this has changed in the final copy, but we were told something in the beginning, and then later on the character's like, but what if, and I need to know, and I'm like, but weren't we told this already? So maybe that's a part of like the unreliable narrator thing, and I didn't really like that. It was okay though. Then I read Rose and Bloom by Phoenix Collins. I had an arc of this. This is book 2 in the Men of Nirvana series, and it is available on Kindle Unlimited. I rated this 5 stars. This is my first full 5-star, and it's the follow-up to Stroke of Luck, which I had an arc of last year and also rated 5 stars. So if you have Kindle Unlimited and you are a fan of billionaire romances, I'm going to need you to start reading this series ASAP. Thank you. She said that book 3 will likely be coming in summer of 2026. I would prefer if it was a little sooner, but fine. This one is also accidental pregnancy, age gap romance. While I hate the accidental pregnancy trope, this one again was really good. I really enjoyed it. I love the relationship between Victor and Rosie, and Victor Harrington is currently top book boyfriend of 2025. Then I read Age of Empire by Michael J. Sullivan, and I finally finished the Legends of the First Empire series. We've been reading this since January. I enjoyed this one. I rated it 4 stars, so not my highest for sure, but I did feel satisfied with the ending for the most part. My only thing is, for the last 2 books, I had to listen to the graphic audio because that was the only thing that was available to me, and that's what they had on Hoopla. And I believe those are abridged. And so there are 2 questions that I kind of had at the end of the series, and I'm wondering if they're answered in the original copy. And I did enjoy the series. I'm really glad that I read it. I do really enjoy Michael J. Sullivan. The next book that we're supposed to be reading is Nolan, which I wasn't planning on reading. However, now that I know who Nolan is, I kind of want to. So whether or not I continue with the World of Elon read along is TBD, but I did have a really good time. Shout out to Deshauna for hosting this read along because I really like that we did one a month. I really like the pace of it, and I'm glad that I read the series. Then I DNF'd The Marriage Vendetta by Caroline Madden, maybe? Yes, Caroline Madden. I had an arc of this. I just picked this because I needed to renew my auto approval with Harlequin Trade Publishing. So in this book, we're following a woman who receives an email with a photo attachment of her husband with another woman. And so she's like, holy shit, this motherfucker's having an affair. So she goes to see this therapist, and the therapist is basically like helping her construct this revenge plot, which I love a revenge plot, okay? However, I made it 35% in, and at this point, the main character just keeps like excusing her husband's shitty behavior, and it's not just about the affair. He is actively bullying her, belittling her, constantly talking down to her, being condescending. He never spends time with their daughter. He said that when they moved to Dublin, that was all gonna change, and it hasn't changed at all. Plus, he's making up all these excuses for why he needs to work late, and at this point, she already knows that he's having an affair, but she still has yet to address it. This is also labeled as like sort of a dark thriller but a little bit of humor, and I have yet to encounter any humor or thrill, so I'm just not really sure where we're going with this. And so if you have read this or know anything more about it, please let me know, because I'm curious but not enough to have to suffer through it, because listening to this woman excuse her husband's behavior is just pissing me off. And the last book that I read was Haunted by Christina C. Jones. This is the first book in her Eternally Tethered series. This is a series of 3 paranormal erotica novellas, and I enjoyed this first one. I rated it 4 stars. I'm not a huge paranormal person, so I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it, but I enjoyed it, and so I'm interested to see where it goes. This will be the final series included in my second CCJ vlog, so once I finish the series, y'all can expect that vlog. So maybe before the end of the month. I'm also moving this month, so I'm not sure yet, but that is the plan. Like I said, I'm not a huge paranormal person, but I am interested to see how I like the rest of the series, as well as her vampire series that I know I'll be coming up on eventually. So those are all the things that I read in June. Let me know if you have read any of these or if they are on your TBR. Especially let me know if you've heard anything about the Marriage Vendetta, because I'm very curious about that. But otherwise, that is all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.